there's a planet, distant and cold, that holds a secret far darker than the vast emptiness of space itself. We know it as Saturn, a gas giant that spins in the outer reaches of our solar system. But what if its true significance stretches beyond mere astronomy? What if, for millennia, Saturn has been the focal point of one of the most mysterious and misunderstood forms of worship? What if this planet, its rings shimmering like an ancient crown, hides a truth that has been deliberately kept from the world? The stories we've been told about Saturn are just the surface. The truth goes deeper, buried beneath layers of history, myth, and cosmic symbolism. For thousands of years, Saturn has been revered, feared, and even venerated as a god. But why? What does this distant celestial body have to do with ancient rites, dark rituals, and the very fabric of time itself? What if I told you that Saturn's worship isn't just about a planet, but about a powerful force that has shaped civilization in ways you've never imagined? Stay with me, because the secrets behind Saturn's worship are about to unfold, and what you'll discover will change everything you thought you knew about the universe and about yourself. For centuries, Saturn has been a symbol, an enigma cloaked in darkness. Ancient civilizations spoke of it in hushed tones, assigning it titles that hinted at its hidden power, titles like the Black Sun or the Lord of Time. But what did they really mean? Why did Saturn become a central figure in so many cultures across the world, from the mystical traditions of the Sumerians to the secret rites of the Romans and beyond? The allure of Saturn is not just in its imposing presence in the sky, but in its ability to cast a long shadow over human history. Even the Bible, in cryptic verses, speaks of a force linked to Saturn, one that governs the passage of time, the harvest, and the underworld. What's more unsettling is how this force seems to echo through the centuries, influencing everything from the rise and fall of empires to the hidden symbolism woven into the very fabric of our modern lives. Why does the planet Saturn, cold and distant, continue to captivate humanity's imagination? What lies beneath the surface of this obsession, beyond the scientific and mythological explanations we've been taught? Some believe that Saturn represents a cosmic law, an order to the chaos of the universe, a symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. But what if it's more than that? What if Saturn's worship represents something far darker, the manipulation of time itself, the control of human consciousness, or the binding of souls to a fate they cannot escape? The mystery is only deepening. Saturn's rings, glowing like ancient symbols, hold secrets that could alter our perception of reality. For centuries, the worship of this planet has been intertwined with some of the most powerful and most hidden forces in history. And as we delve deeper into its shadow, the more we realize that the worship of Saturn might not just be about looking up at the stars, but about controlling the very essence of human existence. To understand the worship of Saturn, we must first trace its origins, back to ancient times, when the world was still shrouded in mystery, and the cosmos was perceived not as a mere collection of stars, but as a living, breathing entity. The earliest known references to Saturn date back to the Sumerians, one of the world's first great civilizations. They named it Ninurta, a god of agriculture and warfare, who was often depicted as an all-powerful force holding dominion over time and fate. This connection between Saturn and time was not coincidental. It was a reflection of a much deeper understanding of the planet's symbolic power. Saturn was not just a celestial body, but an embodiment of cosmic order, a force that could govern the seasons, the harvest, and the cycles of life and death. As civilizations grew and spread, Saturn's influence expanded. The Babylonians, inheriting much from the Sumerians, revered Saturn under the name Chronos. In Greek mythology, Chronos was the god of time, a figure who devoured his own children in a desperate attempt to control the future. This image of Saturn, or Chronos, was chilling yet profound. It represented not only the passage of time, but the ruthless control over the cycles of creation and destruction. As the Greeks and Romans absorbed these ideas, Saturn's worship took on even more complexity. In ancient Rome, Saturn was both a god of sowing and reaping, and the center of their most important festival, the Saturnalia, a time when social hierarchies were temporarily reversed, and the world itself seemed to turn upside down. The Saturnalia, held in honor of the god Saturn, was a time of revelry and chaos, an inversion of order, a brief glimpse into a world without the rigid constraints of society. The celebration itself was filled with strange rituals, feasts, gift-giving, and even the freeing of slaves. This sacred inversion was a reflection of Saturn's dual nature, both creator and destroyer, both liberator and enforcer of cosmic laws. It was a reminder that the balance of the universe is fragile, that time is both a gift and a burden, and that those who worship Saturn are, in a sense, bound by the very forces they seek to control. But even as Saturn's influence grew, so did the dark whispers surrounding its worship. What were the true meanings hidden in these ancient rites? What did the Romans, and those before them, truly understand about this mysterious god of time and fate? And why, centuries later, does the worship of Saturn continue to echo through the corridors of history, lingering in the shadows of secret societies, ancient texts, and even the architecture of our modern world? As we peel back the layers of Saturn's worship, we begin to uncover truths that challenge everything we think we know about history, power, and the very fabric of reality. The ancient world, with its gods, rituals, and cosmic symbols, was not merely a reflection of human imagination. It was a deliberate attempt to manipulate and understand the forces of the universe. And Saturn, the dark and distant planet, stood at the center of it all, its worship intertwined with esoteric knowledge that has been kept hidden for millennia. One of the most profound secrets about Saturn worship lies in the ancient belief that the planet represented more than just a god of time. It was seen as the key to transcending time itself, the doorway to unlocking eternal wisdom. Saturn's rings, with their mysterious, hypnotic patterns, were viewed not just as cosmic debris but as a symbol of the soul's journey through time. Some believe that the rings of Saturn are not merely celestial phenomena, but energetic forces, gateways between the material world and the higher realms of consciousness. This idea was not just a passing fancy of ancient astrologers. It was part of a deeper, hidden knowledge passed down through secret societies, occult traditions, and mystic orders. The belief that Saturn's energy could manipulate the very fabric of reality, bending time, space, and the human spirit, was guarded by those in the shadows. In fact, there are scholars who argue that Saturn's influence is embedded in the very architecture of our world. The use of the number 7 in sacred geometry, the symbolism of rings, and the recurring motifs of cycles and time in ancient rituals all point to a deliberate attempt to harness the power of Saturn's energy. Perhaps the most unsettling revelation is the idea that Saturn was not only worshipped by ancient cultures, it was feared. The worshippers of Saturn understood that the planet represented a force far more powerful than any earthly god. Saturn was not just a bringer of order, but of limitation, a force that could trap the soul in the eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In some traditions, Saturn was equated with the concept of the demiurge, the architect of the material world, a being that shapes reality according to rigid laws, binding the spirit to the physical realm. What does this mean for us, here and now? Could the worship of Saturn be a form of control, a hidden system of power that binds us to the laws of time and space? Some occultists and spiritual seekers believe that by understanding Saturn's true nature, we can break free from its grasp, transcending the limitations of time and ascending to higher states of consciousness. But to do so requires a deeper understanding of the ancient truths that have been hidden for centuries. And this knowledge is not easily accessed. Many have tried to unlock it, and many have failed. So, what does this ancient and mysterious worship of Saturn have to do with us today? How can the understanding of this celestial force, so distant and seemingly irrelevant, actually influence our lives in the modern world? The truth is, the legacy of Saturn's worship is alive and well, woven into the very fabric of our daily existence, whether we realize it or not. and understanding its power could be the key to unlocking a deeper level of personal transformation, spiritual enlightenment, and even practical success. At its core, Saturn represents discipline, structure, and the natural laws that govern existence. But it also embodies limitations, the boundaries that keep us grounded, the forces that shape our fates. If we view Saturn not as a distant god or celestial body, but as a symbol of time's unyielding grip on our lives, we can begin to see how its influence shapes us every day. Saturn reminds us of our mortality, our need for order, and the inescapable flow of time. And in doing so, it offers us the greatest gift of all, the opportunity to master those very forces. By aligning ourselves with the energy of Saturn, we can begin to break free from the chaos of our lives. Saturn teaches us the importance of patience, discipline, and focus. It challenges us to confront the limitations we impose on ourselves and the world around us. In spiritual practices, Saturn's energy can be harnessed to strengthen our resolve, fortify our willpower, and guide us through difficult times. Meditation on Saturn's symbolism can help us understand our relationship with time, both the time we have and the time we waste. But the influence of Saturn is not just spiritual. Its power extends into the practical world as well. In astrology, Saturn is often associated with career, structure, and long-term goals. Those who understand Saturn's influence are more likely to succeed in business and personal endeavors because they approach life with a sense of purpose and perseverance. Saturn's lessons are about long-term success, not quick fixes. It teaches us that growth comes not from avoiding hardship, but from enduring and overcoming it. The path to mastery is not instantaneous. It is built on the foundation of steady effort, discipline, and the courage to face the inevitable challenges life throws our way. On a more personal level, Saturn's influence can also guide us to recognize the patterns in our lives that hold us back. If we feel trapped in repetitive cycles, whether in relationships, careers, or personal habits, Saturn offers us the chance to break free by confronting these patterns directly. By acknowledging our limitations, we can transcend them. The process may not be easy, but the rewards are profound. A life led by intention, guided by the cosmic wisdom of Saturn, and freed from the invisible chains that once bound us. As we reach the end of this journey into the hidden worship of Saturn, we stand at the threshold of a deeper understanding, not just of a distant planet, but of the very forces that govern our lives. Saturn is not just a cold, distant body in the sky. It is a reflection of our own struggles with time, limitations, and the eternal dance between creation and destruction. The mysteries surrounding its worship reveal a truth that transcends ancient civilizations. They offer us a blueprint for mastering the invisible forces that shape our existence. In the end, Saturn teaches us the greatest lesson of all, that time is both our greatest ally and our fiercest enemy. By understanding and embracing Saturn's power, we can confront our fears, break free from the patterns that hold us back, and unlock the deeper potential within ourselves. This is not merely an intellectual pursuit, it is a spiritual awakening, an invitation to align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe and step into our true power. But as we reflect on this knowledge, we must also ask ourselves, are we ready to face Saturn's truth? Are we prepared to embrace the limitations, the discipline, and the sacrifices that come with true mastery over time? For to follow Saturn's path is not to escape the laws of nature, but to fully understand and work with them. It is a path that demands patience, perseverance, and a willingness to confront our deepest fears and desires. As you ponder the revelations we've uncovered, remember this: the worship of Saturn is not just an ancient practice, it is a timeless truth. The mysteries surrounding this celestial god have survived for millennia because they hold power. And now, that power is in your hands. What will you do with it? The answers are waiting, hidden in the cosmos, in the rings of Saturn, and in the deepest corners of your own mind. All it takes is the courage to seek them out. Will you?